So today I'm trying to get to a forest. This forest is called Coily Corry Cuacle. Coily Corry. To get to the forest, I need to cross this. And at the moment, I'm not entirely sure how to do that. I've been walking along the riverbank for about 10 minutes with no passing place. Today, I'm going to learn my lesson from my trip to, where was it? Balmaha. I'm not going to worry. If I don't get to the forest, hopefully I'll find something nice to take a photograph of and I'll be able to just enjoy that. I'm going to try to make my way further down this river and hopefully there's going to be some kind of bridge quite soon. Look at that beauty! All right. My map tells me that this is the forest just there. I think there's a few more bridges to get to and try to cross some more rivers. But sure, that's all part of the fun, isn't it? Getting to a nice place can't be all just fun and games. There needs to be a bit of challenge. Just crossed over the railway line and I think I found what I'm looking for. I think this is the forest that I was out searching for. So that took all of about 20 minutes walk, which is amazing. The plan now, go and explore. It looks like there's some fantastic shapes of trees here and they're all really sparse, which I like. It hopefully means that we're going to get a nice simple image today rather than that normal cluttered, kind of complicated view that you sometimes get in forests. The weather looks amazing. Look at the snow on those mountains. Does that just not look stunning over there? I think the only mountain that I know about here is Ben Louis, which is just behind one of those there. Today is going to be tree-tastic. I've already got an image of a tree. I think you might be able to see it's just that dark one behind me there with that forest just lighting up in the background. The forest is kind of white from being covered in snow and then we have the mountain, of course, right away off in the distance. Quite happy with this image, quite happy with this composition. Framed it up nice and standard using the rule of thirds. Got quite a fast shutter speed as well, 50th of a second. There's no need for long exposures today. Set the f11 and ISO 100. First image of the day down. Quite happy with that. It's now about 30 minutes into the walk, so hopefully this is going to be a productive day. I'm just hoping that I have enough batteries to be able to film all the photographs that I'm going to take. I've been walking around this forest behind me for a wee bit now and I just can't find anything that's a strong enough subject to take on its own. I think even though that there's snow, if you just can't find that strong subject, there's no point in getting the camera out because it's just going to be some snowy trees at the end of the day. There's not that wow factor. I think I'm going to maybe take a little bit of a walk further up the hill. There's some trees isolated out in their own. And it looks like they have been exposed to the elements a little bit more, so there's some quite nice curves, some quite nice shapes of the trees. It's ridiculously difficult to walk in this snow because every step you take, your foot's sinking maybe 2 or 3 feet into the snow. It's stunning to be out here, like it feels absolutely amazing, but it is exhausting. Starting to snow again. Not too worried about that. I don't think it's going to snow too hard. So I've got a bit of a hike ahead of me. Better get moving. It's amazing how a little bit of snow changes the feel of a day. It's gone from absolutely gorgeous sun everywhere to a little skiff of snow and everywhere just seems so much further now. Those trees that I'm looking to get up to just on the side of that hill, well, I think I might actually wait until this little skiff of snow finishes because I don't really fancy heading out there and maybe a cloud coming down over or just the snow getting that little bit heavier. I think I'd prefer to stay down at the forest. Really undecided about this shot. I've taken a few different exposures. I've even put my 50mm 1.8 lens on to see if separating the foreground from the background is going to make a difference. It's a beautiful tree. It's a beautiful background, and it's just about working to try and get the two things to work together. I think I've done all right. As I say, I've taken a couple of different ideas. I've had the polarizer on my 24 to 105mm lens as well to try and darken down the sky a wee bit. But I think this is me finished here. My toes are starting to get freezing, so I think it's time to move on. I've made it as far as I'm going to go today, and it's absolutely stunning up here. I mean, it is amazing. I've been walking probably for about half an hour to get up to the top here, so it's not that high of a climb, but the snow is so deep, it is completely exhausting. I was out of breath, just shattered, just absolutely wrecked getting to the top here. The snow makes everything so much more difficult. My plan now is I'm going to just walk down, probably back into that wee forest again, maybe try and find a few more trees to take pictures of. That seems to be the theme of today. What a fascinating subject this tree is. I'm taking a couple of shots of it, and I'm using the trunk of the tree to shelter the sun so that I'm not getting the sun in the frame, I suppose. So the shadow from the tree is sheltering the camera. It's a really strange shaped tree. I hope you can see it there just in the background. I think this has created a really strong subject. It's something that's really interesting, and I've taken a little bit of time, walked around the tree a few times just to try and get the right framing. I think the silhouette of the tree with the sky in the background is the way to go. Unfortunately, I've walked through my photograph with snow. That happens. Hopefully I'll be able to remove that in Photoshop, but this is an absolutely cracking image. Really happy with this. Quite tough out here, because what happens is you see a composition from quite far away and you think that is brilliant, that is fantastic. You run over to it. Whenever you get there, the composition is completely changed. The furthest focal length that I can get is about 160, 170 millimeters. I just don't think that's quite long enough for some of the shots that I'm looking for today. Alright, so I think I have a nice little image of a tree. Oh, I'll turn around just so that you can see it. I might go a bit dark here, but I think I've got quite a nice image of a tree here. It's just silhouetted by the sky and the sun in the background, and there's a reasonable amount of clouds there which are making the image quite nice. Got the photo all set up, really fast shutter speed to get that silhouette to really bring the sky out. I'm not too worried about getting too much detail in the bark of the tree or anything like that, so that's just all going to be nice and dark. And then the snow, I've got little mounds, little hills, and the sun's creating shadows over them. This is looking fantastic. It's looking brilliant. What a day to be out. What an absolutely amazing day to be out with a camera. I think this is definitely a place to come back to and explore, maybe whenever there's a bit of fog or something like that. And next time I'm back, there might be no snow. It's going to be a completely different photography experience because this day is pretty special. Almost need my suntan lotion on. So I think I got my favorite picture of today, and you guessed it, it's of a tree. Camera set up, f11, 25th of a second, bracketed exposure to make sure I'm getting all the highlights and lowlights. And I've taken a couple of shots already. The sun's shining, side light on it. Oh, this is a nice image. Oh, it's freezing. A little bit disappointed. I thought there was going to be a fantastic sunset tonight, but that snow cloud has just come over and just snubbed anything out, I think. So that's not going to happen. I could spend days here, I think, but I think I'm just going to get back to the car. I know today has turned into a bit of a tree fest. I've spotted here what I think are two pretty interesting shaped trees. Keep on seeing things as I walk towards the car, so I keep on having to stop, which I suppose is no bad thing. Camera set up, all framed up, and I've taken the shot already. And what we're looking at right now is f11 for aperture, 1/30th of a second, and ISO 100. Manual focus, just to make sure that it's paying sharp. Nice simple image, trees on a hill, tickety-boo. Not much else you can do there. Well, you can probably see that snow cloud coming in behind me. I think I'm going to shimmy on. Look at this wee fella just sitting munching away below the tree. Not a care in the world. Look at this. I'm glad I'm not still up there. That would have an absolute nightmare to come back down. There's no feeling like getting your feet into a nice dry pair of socks and shoes. Cockaleaky soup, squished ham sandwiches. I am going to chill out for 5 or 10 minutes.